DecentraSign, a decentralized agreement management platform which uses PrivadoID as the KYC layer to authenticate a new user, and Cartesi DApp to enforce strict contract management logic in a deterministic and verifiable fashion. You are presented with a QR code, which is an embedded request asking the user to prove that he is above 18 years. For this, we will be using the Polygon ID wallet app and the KYC age credential, which is a verifiable credential containing your actual date of birth. Privado ID allows the user to prove that he is above 18 years without actually disclosing the actual date of birth. Once you scan the QR code, the request is initiated, and in order to verify the proofs, you need an Ethereum account to submit this proof. The proofs are submitted to the Universal Verified Smart Contract, which is hosted on the Polygon Amoy test network. So you'll require an Ethereum account with a few Polygon Amoy test tokens. Once you connect your Ethereum account, the proof generation process starts. It's a computationally intensive process, so it might take some time. Once the wallet app generates the proofs, you're presented with a transaction request which asks you to send the generated proofs to the on-chain verified smart contract. Once you submit this transaction, the proofs are verified on-chain and they are successfully stored. Now you can request the Cartesi DApp to whitelist you. We are sending a request to a special smart contract called the Cartesi Verified Smart Contract, which requests the Universal Verified Smart Contract if the proof submitted by this Ethereum account is valid. And if it is valid, then you are whitelisted. And check if you're whitelisted. As you can see, now we are whitelisted and you can start creating new contracts on the platform. Currently, we support two types, employment and rental. So let's create an employment contract. It has various fields containing the information about the contract creator and the contractee to whom the contract is addressed. So each identity is currently tied to an Ethereum account. So you should specify the Ethereum account to whom the contract is addressed to. You can start by specifying any details about the contract like the start date, the end date, if he is full time, if there are any bonuses like the yearly bonus. You can also add in any benefits like the health insurance or a paid time off. And you can also see different termination information like the notice period. And the most important component is the physical signature, which acts as an additional layer of security. You use this physical signature base64 image, sign it, and send it along the form data to the Cartesi DApp in order to be processed. Once the transaction goes through the input box smart contract of the Cartesi rollups framework, it does a series of checks to see if the request is valid. And if the request is valid, a new contract is created and it is registered on the platform. You can view the contract. As you can see, it is in the status of in process. It requires two signatures for it to be activated. The other signature comes from the contractee. So let's switch to the account of the contractee. He is already verified. The contractee has to provide a physical signature saying that he accepts this particular agreement. Now we send an accept agreement request to the Cartesi DApp backend. Once the request is processed by the Cartesi DApp, and after checking if the request is valid, the status of the agreement changes to active. Now, as you can see, it is an active contract. It has two signatures of the contractor and the contractee. Let's go through the entire life cycle of a contract. Let's see how the contractee can end the contract. He has to provide another signature saying that he wants to end this particular agreement. You provide a physical signature with some metadata like the contract ID, like the type stamp and the digital signature, and wait for it to be processed. All these transactions are currently going through the Polygon Amoy test network where the Cartesi rollups are deployed. So there is some latency. We can try and speed up this transaction. Once this transaction is processed, the contract becomes inactive and the termination field has the signature of the contractee and the contract has ended. So the contract creator can choose to terminate the agreement altogether. It is the same process again. You provide a physical signature and a request to the Cartesi dApp saying that I want to end this particular contract and terminate it. This is the final step for terminating the agreement. The request is now processed by the Cartesi dApp and the contract is now terminated. You can verify the status of the contract. As you can see, it is terminated and it has four signatures, two for acceptance and two for termination.